Hello again, everyone, and much like entropy, this class will not be stopped from moving forward. For us, you're not bringing about more chaos in the universe. Instead, we are looking at ways to make and spend money, where in section 8.5, we were talking about some more advanced forms of investments, looking at things like annuities, very, very similar to the stuff we've done with interest rates, but now we're talking about continually reinvesting amounts in there. Then we're going to look at some more involved investments that can be made with things like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And finally, we're going to look at, in particular, retirement accounts, which are very special kinds of funds that can usually get a bit more money for a specific reason. Then in 8.6, we're going to be talking about spending money. We're going to be looking at cars. We're going to look at the expenses with cars, how you finance one, because usually you don't pay entirely out of pocket for them, as well as making some important distinctions between things like purchasing and leasing, buying new versus buying used, what you have to do when you're thinking about getting car insurance, and making comparisons for things like payment plans, as well as the expenses that can be associated with different brands, different makes, different models, all of those sorts of things we're going to be seeing bits and pieces of, along with a bit of history, like always, where some of this stuff comes from and how it is used today. From there, normal stuff to expect. We've got ourselves a worksheet with some practice for these. It's going to be like our last few where I'm not going to have a ton of exercises because one or two good ones covers all that I really need for this stuff, and they do take a little while. Then we have our due dates, looking ahead where we are starting to get close to our second exam. We've only got a bit more material here to go before that. And then pre-assessment for week 7, where we are going to be finishing up chapter 8 by talking about things with purchasing a home, as well as finally getting to credit cards. For all the times I've talked about credit, it's finally coming. But that's enough setup. Let's get in there. Let's get to work.